All right, hey guys, what is up? Kit here, Burn One, Shadowverse Evolve channel, obviously, with another episode of On Evolve. We're getting back on that grind, as always, joined with my co-host here.
Hello, I have managed to corral us into another podcast.
Yeah, Dean has been pushing me to get on so we can do a recording of a podcast because he's busy this week you're going to Toronto, right? That's right? Regional?
Toronto, we're going to be, it's my ideas versus the community. I'm just going to, that's what the only little spoiler you guys get.
I'm going to give it extra profile on Sunday. I'm going to give an extra spoiler. Dean has shown me his list. I very much like it a lot. I hope he does very well because the idea of his list is something I saw before but never tested. And Dean obviously figured some stuff out. It's spicy as hell. People will sit down across from it and be very confused. But I think you're gonna roll everyone. I feel like that's my feeling, but who knows? You could get rolled yourself.
I don't want to take full credit though. It was thanks to my boy Presaya.
You know, don't you mean Saber fans? What's
Saber fan 04? You know, he's out there. He knows.
Yeah, if you know, guys. Saber fan 04, the real OG.
And the other thing is I'm also doing Weiss, so that's why it's like twice as rough.
I know you've been grinding both things, which has been insane. I kind of opted to not play Weiss this season, except for the last tournament, which is in Chicago, which I'll be joining you because I plan to stay a little bit longer in Chicago, or as long as I can, instead of the other regionals, obviously. So I'm pretty excited about that and all that. So hopefully this weekend, I hope you destroy everyone and we see you in at least top 3 minimum. You got to get there, man. I believe in you.
I'll do what I can, but you know, we'll see. You know, I could also be wrong. You know, my spice, if it could be wrong, there could be a reason it's not being played. But if that's so, then so be it.
I think you're on a good track. So I you know.
On testing, it's felt like unstoppable.
Yeah, but I could definitely see that. I just want to see people's reaction. You hitting top 3 with this list and seeing it on the website. I think it'll cause a lot of stir up in the community. You know, talking about your list, hopefully. But that's enough jerking Dean off for now.
Especially when we don't even top 8.
Ready. I can't wait for you just to go like 0-3 drop and be like, that was a good week.
Happens.
It does. This is the life of a card game player, man. You can't win them all, no matter how good you are. What's the saying? It's always better lucky than good, or whatever.
Yeah,
so
that is the statement.
Yeah. All right. So first thing on the list besides that here is I guess we talked about Texas Trios. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about before we start getting into this, Dean.
No, Texas Trios was sick. You know, if you guys didn't watch, I did look over the lists. And I mentioned, you know, some people we know that have been on reviews with us actually did take it down. Big Weiss names too, like Kevin, Keela.
Yep. All these people are actually, I mean, because obviously we know them from the Weiss community in general, because that's where we came from. All 3 of these players on this team were all fairly known Weiss players for the most part. Like Dan was on there. We got Sam as well as Kevin being a part of SBTCG, I believe, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, Kevin is that, but he also does the translations for Weiss Shorts. And then, Dan, who did actually, what did he get, 3rd in Houston?
He got 3rd in the last chance qualifier, I believe. And then
Sam is top 8 unknown. But now he's known. Remember the name.
Remember the name. You'll see him around for a while. But yeah, so Texas Regional was pretty chill. I was there. My team, we had the same team as California. I was there with my buddies Alex and Ryan. Sometimes they go by Skaz and Shepard or whatever. We showed up same team as before. I was on a different UMA list, and you know, we went. What is it? X? Oh, we went. We got a double loss actually in our Swiss rounds, which was pretty funny. But we were still able to make top 8 because of that double loss. We got 5th place after Swiss, and then unfortunately, my 2 teammates dropped their game in top 8, and so my last game was kind of just like, oh, this game doesn't matter anymore. I'll just start playing Brian and say, can you answer this and kill me? If not, then like whatever, I win the game, but it doesn't matter. So I lost that game because I was just like, yeah, no reason to prolong this game any longer. I was playing against a person on D shift, which was like, it was slightly annoying because I know for a fact I was able to like win the game in like 3-ish more turns for sure because I was just keeping him off of being able to D shift the entire time. But then after my teammates lost, I was just like, no point in sticking around any longer. I want to go eat some good Texas barbecue, and that's what we did afterwards. But yeah, one thing though I want to talk about is I think the turnout for the regional for Texas. So I guess to preface this is Dean is aware of this, but Texas is probably one of the bigger Weiss regionals that we're aware of, right? For Weiss shorts, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually they get a really huge showing for Weiss, and I assume
No, wait,
Vanguard.
no, it's not. It's they're like in the medium area.
Oh,
It's
is it?
Atlanta's the small, yeah, because the biggest is always the second biggest is always Chicago.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it's usually what California, Chicago, and then Texas third, right? I feel like Texas is a bigger than normal event usually.
Yeah, it's like decentish.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, this regional it only had 21 teams for Shadowverse, which is kind of spooky in a way. But once again, I think a big issue, at least what I'm thinking, and I think this is why Bouchero themselves has at a few regionals swapped around the tournaments on the days, is I think a really big portion of the community that plays Shadowverse as like their secondary game came from the Vanguard community, and the most popular Vanguard format is the same day as Shadowverse. That's what I've talked about with like some people at the Bouchero at the staff there, and they kind of feel the same ish. So I'm wondering if that's why they made those changes for those dates at those couple of regionals, just to see what if there's any difference on like attendance. But honestly, this was kind of a lower count than I anticipated. What did you think, Dean? As far as like only 21 teams showing up?
Yeah, 21. That's like 63 players. I mean, that's rough. It's like a little rough. Uh, I don't. I mean, like, I just hope that we can continue to grow. That's like really the only thing I can say, right? Like, I would love to see at least the size of Weiss. Weiss only had 50 teams. There's 150 players. It's not unreasonable uh for this game to eventually get to that point. But it's yeah, I don't know. It's like 63, 21 teams. It's something where you like always want to hear a bigger number than that. At least triple. You want to hit at least triple digits and then keep going from there, you know. Uh and hopefully, like you said, when we swap that we can get more people. Is it swapped on? It's not swapped in Chicago, is it?
It's not. It's only
It's like
in
Atlanta. Atlanta's
Atlanta,
rough.
Atlanta and New Jersey, I believe, were the two ones that were swapped around.
New Jersey might be okay. Atlanta's like one of those. That's always the smallest region almost.
Yeah, I don't want to like. Yeah, unironically, like in the like at least Dean and I would always said like Atlanta for Weiss. I don't know shit about Vanguard. I hear they have a very solid Vanguard community out there, but for
They have
Weiss,
huge, yeah.
yeah, but for Weiss, we've always considered that region or that tournament like one of the more free ones where it's like most
We
of the
never
people
win it.
we never win. We
won it.
top it all the time, but I think most of the time it's just like the people who win that win in top 8 in that area are always people who travel far to go there for at least Weiss. I don't know crap about Vanguard, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there because yeah, it's really hard to compare to because we don't have open regionals. Our last chance qualifiers were only in Texas and California, so we have no real data to go off of like how big this event will be in Atlanta. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Even then, I do think that man, I really want to see so the thing that we're gonna be talking about later, right? I want to see what like turnout for that is like, and for the BCS, the Bouchero Championship, because like teams requires a team. We just got off of the terrible. I'm sorry, the quite literally terrible like first round of tournaments. And so like I'm thinking this like team thing is like a little thing where people are like slowly rallying together, getting people like their shops are like starting to recover.
No, yeah,
But then it's also it's like really hard to like it's really hard to justify like I do it because I love competition, right? Uh but with the current price structure of this teams format specifically, it's a little rough.
Yeah, I agree. I really, really enjoy the game, and I love competing. This is why I'll travel to these events that basically don't pay anything, no matter like. For like, I got top 3 in California. I'm getting a medal, and that's it. And I didn't even get the medal the day of the event because we sure didn't have it on them. Um, Luckily, I got an email though; they just mailed it out, which is nice. But like compared to other region or not regionals, but other team events prior years that Dean and I've been to, usually trios events has decent pricing. I don't know what happened this year. They just kind of dropped the ball and we are like, yeah, screw it. Like we're just have
Not
this and
even
call it a day.
the only real difference is the topping map, but that feels huge because like top 3 is like something. It's something that as a good player you can strive for. Okay, top 3 is like a little bit rougher than top 4. I liked it when it was top 4 mats, but like top 3, if you're like a good player, you can say like, I have a good chance of going to a tournament top 3. First place, you always have to be a little bit lucky, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
but like you can like walk into a tournament and like I know at least for myself, I always set my expectations top 8 and then take it a game at a time. And so, it's something where you go into the tournament with that mindset, but like when you're like, wow, okay, well, if I don't get first, then I get like a medal and nothing else. It's like the match, just like that nice thing that's like the nice little cushion that makes it feel like it was a good trip. Uh,
Yeah,
so
it's always nice having something you can kind of like flex and show off too. Where if you got like a really cool top format, you're like, look, I topped at this regional, got this like sick mat that you can use at locals and stuff like that. Get people interested in like talking about it and stuff like that. I like that stuff a lot. It just kind of sucks. And then also at the same time, the pricing support is, I really hate tournament structures like this where first place, like, okay, the prize card, we just assume like it's probably worth like $1,000 or something, right? First place gets like $1,000 card or like a $500 card or whatever. Second place gets crap. Like that
yeah,
feels
it's rough.
horrible. I'd rather them kind of spread out and do something similar they do in Japan, where like, if you get a certain place, you get a certain like promo and so forth, which we'll be talking about later because they are bringing that over here into the States, which
Yeah,
is really good to talk about later. But yeah,
and
it's rough.
but it's the same for all of the games right now. So like we're kind of like I don't know what Bushiroad's doing this year, but it's like I think everyone's kind of eating the garbage together. Really, it's like everyone is first place gets something, second place nothing. And that's across everything. Vanguard's the same way. When I checked, Y Schwartz I know is the same way, and it's same for us. So
Yeah, I think that's like one of the big weaknesses that unfortunately Shadowverse is being tournaments are basically ran by Bushiroad or 100% ran by Bushiroad. And we've known since we've been Bushiroad players for a long time that a lot of the philosophy around Bushiroad and their card games is like, we're here to play for fun and stuff like that. And I know there are a lot of people in the community, whether it be Vanguard, Weiss, or Shadowverse Evolve, who like they hunger for competition because they love competing. People like Dean and I who will travel to these events and like try to win them all and all that stuff, who enjoy that a lot. It's just unfortunate that Bushiroad doesn't I don't want to say they support their game very well for it being a free event, obviously, but they don't cater to the more competitive side of card game players. I think, right? I feel like every other card game like tournament going on right now, even as far as like any of the games that are popping off, their tournament structures for prizing has been absolutely amazing, which makes I feel like a lot of people who love Bushiroad games can feel a little bit of FOMO.
yeah, digital. I was hoping it would be a little bit different with like because like digital monthlies $1,000 to first. I mean, if you go up to the Shadowverse like SVO like Discord,
Mhm.
I don't think they're doing it now because I think they're waiting until after like Worlds Beyond comes out. But for a long time, you could sign up for a monthly tournament if you could take it all, $1,000. If you got second, I think it was like 500. So it was like there was like money in the pot, right? It was like these were free tournaments. You just sign up. It'd be up to 2 days of your time, and you could walk away with a decent chunk of money. And it's just like it's a little sad that right now we don't have that, but that's okay. It's BCS. When the singles come around, there's like a pretty decent prize on the line there automatically. So it's just unfortunate the spring is a little bit rough.
Yeah, I think too, like you kind of said earlier, everyone's kind of recovering from this, and I do think though team events are a lot of fun, the people who felt like they got burnt in the first season of Shadowverse probably are very hesitant to come back until singles comes around again. I think when singles comes around, we'll probably see a resurgence of like the player base for the most part. Because I don't know what you've heard around, but I do hear sometimes. Personally, I love trios, and I love like when card games are like a team format. I think it's infinitely more fun than singles. But I do know there are players out there who are like they don't really like team formats because they feel like either it's too much pressure for letting their teammates down,
There's a
or
lot of pressure.
or they're like, or their teammates just keep losing and they keep winning and they feel like they're being held back. It kind of goes both ways, right? Where
I've experienced both. I've
yeah,
experienced both.
exactly.
I've been corpse dragged and I've corpse dragged.
So yeah, it's I know team formats isn't for everyone. I personally love team formats, and if it became like an official like world's like format, I would probably compete in that way more than singles if I had to choose between either. But yeah, I know this format's not for everyone. So like I said, I think singles is going to roll around, especially with these new tournaments announced. We'll see a resurgence, hopefully. All right. Anything else to talk about as far as Texas trios, Dean? Anything you want to get in?
No. I remember looking at the list. There was a Latham.
I hate that card, but
there was a lot. Oh, you came around, have you?
Oh, dude, I tested Latham again. I was like, I should just do it one time because I was like, I'm very high off of Luminous Knight. I think it's the best 2-drop in Sword to be playing, especially in like an aggro-centric build. I think there's no reason you should be playing anything else because it's just that good. And I swapped them out for Lathams and did it like a handful of like 5 to 8 games. I forget how many. And I was like, Latham sucks. Put these back in, and it felt so much better. But yeah. But yeah, I guess if that is all, we can move on to the next topic. Unless you want to, do before we get into all the new stuff? Maybe you want to do the everyone's favorite segment now, or do you want to hold it for later? Oh no, is Dean dead?
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know. My connection says rough.
Oh no.
Am I good? Am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Did you want to just jump into basically all the news that came over this last weekend, or do you want to?
Yeah, we had the spring conference come out.
Mhm.
Everyone, I think you guys have heard about it. We did get some big news, especially about Booster 5.
Yeah, here I'll bring it up on screen if you want to talk about, I guess, the next set.
Yeah, so Booster 4, we're getting that soon. But I don't think is there any fan favorites in Booster 4? I don't think there is. You know what is in Booster 5 though? We got Lashina, and we have Octress, and we have Galmukes.
Galmukes, dude, she has what she calls everyone losers or whatever in digital. I forget what did she say again.
She says, "Oh, a nerd, great."
Yeah, that's what it is.
Then yeah, and then kiss her Ash. The in this pack you can get like this god pack, right? It's 7 U's, and then this fairy. Look at that alternate art version of the fairy. That fairy token by itself is like 500 in Japanese. So you're looking at like a $300 to $500 token on top of 7 U's. That is, if you hit that pack.
Yeah, I think the token in JP actually hit closer to 800 now that more time has passed too. I think last time I checked it was about 800 USD, which is insane.
So yeah, because I mean, if you're maxing the deck, you need 9 of them, right? It's like it's the one thing that you need a disgusting amount of if you want to max. But then on top of it, you get the 7 U's, and not only can you get the 7 U's, but all 10 of the omens. Where's the serialized part? Is that like further down?
It's the second picture here. These are all serialized.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, the 10 omens. You can get serialized 1 to 10. So that's pretty sick. I don't know like what the serial like I myself am not a big cereal guy, but I do like Lashina. I might need the Lashina cereal. And it's unfortunate for me that other people like her, so that I might have to. Maybe I should just get the Ryo cereal instead.
Yeah, I'm
That might
excited.
be cheaper.
I'm gonna have a field day opening my case when I get this, and I'm probably gonna just buy like random packs at locals with all the store credit I can here, whenever they come in, just to try to open up some of these, um, you know, serialized numbers as well as the like God pack, and like all the art on all of these like U's are just so beautiful too. Like literally all of
Yeah.
them are very good. I'm very excited to be opening the fifth set once it rolls around.
And not only that, not only the U's, but did you see how sick these tokens are?
Yeah, we did Japan get these tokens? No, right? This
I
is
don't think so. I've never seen them. I don't think.
yeah. I don't remember ever seeing tokens like this. The only token that looked expensive before really was the God Pack token. So it's gonna be fun opening these tokens as well. Wait, do they come in the boosters? Right, each box will contain. Oh no, so this is the box topper, right? So you'll get one of these.
Yeah, which makes me, once again, fairy. You think that's the good hit? That has to be the good hit, right?
I think
And bats for
Fairy,
later.
probably Forest Bats later. Ghost,
And Ghost.
maybe. Yeah. Everything else is like, you know, they don't get played as much. Probably, I mean, I think at the outside of those, and the last ones are probably Stillclad Knight and Knight tokens because they probably get played basically forever in Sword for the most part. So, like, having a couple of those two is probably very good. But everything else is pretty like comes and goes depending on what's happening. Especially the Haven stuff probably almost never shows up anymore. At least that's what I feel like.
I'm also wondering, like, you can't really tell off of this. Do you think there's any actual foiling on this thing
Well,
outside of the numbers?
the names also are gold, so I assume those are like embroidered. What's the word? Whatever.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
close.
it's
Like
just
golden,
gold. Yeah, so I assume those are
embossed.
foil. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the pictures themselves will have any foiling. I guess we'll find out this as soon as they start posting like physical pictures of them. Because I know on the Twitter account and I think on the Instagram account too. I don't check Instagram as often. They do post pictures of like the cards in person. So I'm sure when it gets closer to the release of this set, they'll start showing those off. So we'll probably find out then whether these are foil or not. I hope they do come foil because that'll be really exciting instead of just having the stamp on it plus the gold name and numbers. All right,
Yeah,
next here is the Omens Eternal release tournament. So this release tournament's going to be an open 8 format. I hope you guys have been trying out that format. I know Dean has, and I assume you've been having a lot of fun.
I have never won an open 8 game. Spoiler about any of the games I've uploaded on the channel or any of the others. I've played open 8, I think like 7 times. I'm 0-7. I cannot. I lack something. I lack something as a player. I don't know if it's the greed machine, where like I look at unplayable cards and say maybe this will work. I don't know what it is. Basically, I'm never gonna own this mat.
Well, don't they usually give out one? I guess it doesn't say it here, but sometimes they do the lottery where like they lottery one mat away and the other mat is to the winner. Who knows what happens
My only
here?
hope.
Yeah, hopefully I can get Deus Ex Machina mat. It's a pretty nice mat here. I hopefully get it and we get the promo series 6 for entering the tournament. It'll be interesting because this essentially forces everyone to try out the draft format, and I'm interested to see how everyone ends up liking it or not because not a lot of people play it. Go ahead.
Well, set force. We've got the Mars play mat supposed to be the same format.
Oh, is it
like open 8? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess we'll get a lot of feedback then, unless like stores or something decide to like play a different format. But I think they can get in trouble for that. I'm not really sure. So be careful if you're like the TO at your store. Make sure the format is correct and everything for that. But yeah, I mean, I like these. Well, what do you think about these release tournaments, Dean? Like, I haven't really been able to like participate even in the B&B one. I was unfortunately like I'm in the middle of moving and getting a new job. So I just didn't really have time to show up to any of these events in California when I was there. What do you think of these release tournaments? Do you think they're?
I mean, I think they're fun. The only one I did was the B&B one where I used the list from the Connor Pelham. The one he used, that deck was insane.
Yeah.
And I think I don't like the way they did set 3s. Now set 4, once this becomes open 8, that's a much better like way to do it. Like each person buys half a box. your store moves product pretty quickly, and everyone's on a level playing field. It like feels a little unfair when like 3 people at the locals buy cases, and then like other people are having to like scrounge together a set 4 deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little yeah. Don't. I mean, thankfully they're not doing that again. But the B&B one could have been done better. Open 8, good.
Yeah, you say open it good until we come back with stories of like, yeah, my opponent opened the God Pack and I got destroyed. But yeah.
Open the God Pack and then yeah. I mean, happens, right? There's
Yeah, I
no
mean
way that's playable by
that's how
itself.
that's how sealed tournaments are though. Sometimes you just open crazy stuff and like can abuse it. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I do like the release tournaments. I very much like the as much support as they're giving to like the local scene as much as possible. As it just feels good that they're trying to support it and push it as very much because I mean this is like some boomer stuff, but like when Weiss was originally released in English, there was basically no support at all for like over like multiple years. Like they weren't even supporting shops or anything, and look how far that game has come along. This game though, they're really pushing. They're hoping to like build communities around like these events and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited. I'm very happy for these events. All right. Next thing here, we got the Booster Set 6, which was announced will be on sale August 16th. This is when I think. Do you think this is the set? Set 6 is when Kuon becomes tier 0, or is it the set right after it gets extra support? I didn't really keep track of everything, but Kuon.
I assume it's Booster 6.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I think in Japan, Kuon, though everyone believed it was very powerful and like probably one of the top tier decks at the time, it didn't really hit like the tier 0 till later on. I feel like when people started refining the list more and figuring it out, because it was, what was it like? I think it was set 7. Was it set 7 or 8 when Kuon finally won a GP and literally the next day it was banned?
I have no idea.
Okay, yeah, I know it wasn't the booster release for Kuon. I know it was either set 7 or set 8. I think it was where Kuon won a GP. It was the first time Rune ever won a GP, and then literally like the next day they're like, okay, here's restrictions to Kuon because Kuon was just like that deck was just living through everything basically. Like every time a new set came out, Kuon was still like a tier 1 deck. Just because, you know, the nature of D-Shift and the power of Kuon is just very good. So I'm very excited for that format, though. I'm going to be really annoyed when this set is out, though, because this is around the time when we'll be doing singles, right? And you're going to probably play into a lot of cool people playing Kuon, which will be really annoying, I feel like.
D-Shift, my favorite matchup.
In those matchups, you in the mirror, you probably go first, right? Or do you think going second with the Evos is going to be more important to fill your grave faster?
I literally don't even know what the cards do.
Me either. All right. All I know is there's lots of spell chain and we get D-Shift. And D-Shift is like your win condition, so. All right. All right. I guess you want to talk about Glory Finder, Dean?
Oh, yeah. I guess we have card lists for like Glory Finder. We've got like 4 decks. Man, how to even phrase this? Do you think Glory Finder is going to be good? how to phrase this?
So this is what I think. I think Glory Finder is going to be a fun casual format that people might play occasionally at locals and stuff like that. I don't think it'll ever be a competitive format unless people either the community pushes for it or Boucher or Side Games or whoever like really forces it down our throats essentially. Because I feel. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I've had like people be like the Magic players I know are like really excited. Glory Finder is going to be big. I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm not Commander guy, so I don't know.
Commander in Magic is very big. It's like one of the more popular formats in Magic because not only is it like kind of competitive in some scenes, but it's also a very fun casual game where you can get like 4 friends together and just like punch each other and do stupid stuff, right? I think one of the drawbacks here is, or I don't want to say, not a drawback, but one of my fears here is that when they decided to create this format in Shadowverse, I think they were just trying to emulate Magic too much. and like they're like, oh, Commander's big in Magic, so we have to have our own Commander format. So I don't
It's
know
cool
what's
that
up.
it's English only. It's kind of cool that it's like English first.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. So I just don't know how receptive it's going to be, because the history of Commander, or what was it called, Elder Dragon Highlander EDH, is what it was called before it became an official format in Magic. It was so community driven, and the format was created by the community, and the community created their own like ban list for the format. Um, it makes sense why Commander in Magic became as popular as it was, because it had such strong grassroots. Whereas this has no grassroots at all. Maybe they're just trying to capitalize on the Magic players that came to this game, or maybe incentivize like people who love Commander to try this game out, even if it's only in this format. One thing I really do like, though, I don't keep up with Magic as often anymore, but I do like that there are special cards that are like only available for Commander, that have like extra abilities because you're playing Commander, if that, or not Commander, Glory Finder. In this case, I think that's kind of interesting, and hopefully, like they kind of expand on that more and provide more cool effects that way, right?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting product. I just like there's like good reprints in here.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. The reprints is like, if you're getting into the game for the first time, this is probably like the set
But
of decks is probably a pretty good, like, you buy this and kind of have a little taste of everything, and you can pick up certain things in here. I know like there's a copy of Aegis in some of the lists. There's some of the L's in here are pretty solid, like Bell Ringers. There's even golds in here that are good, Bell Ringers and stuff like that, and even Olivia. So
but
at least you'll have one copy of it before you get into your into the
yeah,
singles thing. Yeah.
there's the problem of you get one copy, and then the other problem is this is what's this expected to retail at?
I assume it's going to be like around $80, because my assumption is like you get 4 decks, right, and maybe each deck is a roughly $20 in a bundle, so it's like $80.
80 to 100 is like
Yeah.
what you're going to see at an LGS. That's like the only real thing that's rough, right? It's like
Mhm.
it's a 4-player bundle with a pretty high price point. That's like what I'm wondering about. Now for me, I'm losing however much it costs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, same.
But it's just like, that means that I'll have it for other people around me. But like, I'm just wondering like how many other people are gonna like go $100 deep on a deck.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of these reprints in here though, are pretty nice. Like there's Merlin and Merlin Evo, Cerberus Evo, obviously Bellringer
Oh,
Angels, like I said. Yeah, there's just like a lot of random good cards in here. So like, at least worst case scenario, like you have like the good, some like one of a lot of the good cards, which is nice, you know. But
the
yeah.
reprints are nice. The leaders, I hear they don't work with the app, but we do get mono and we get Belphomet. Belphomet's pretty sick.
So my biggest upset, like what makes me upset here, is that I'm worried that because we're getting mono in this, we'll never get a mono in a booster pack, because I want mono as my abyss leader, and I
Mono's
wanted.
already comes out in Japan.
Did it in
Different art.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, I didn't realize that. For some reason, I thought the leader didn't come out yet. So at least I'll have access to mono leader if they print it in
Eventually.
English. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now
that was my
Belphomet,
biggest
though.
fear, because mono is like my favorite abyss leader. But yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting. I guess on the bright side, I like I guess this is kind of like a risk for them, because this is like so unknown, and I feel like they haven't really, they had it out here at like the last chance not was it the last chance qualifiers only. I think so, right? They like had like playtest sessions for this, and that's
I wasn't there.
yeah, that they had playtests for this format. And then when you finish it, they have a survey. Then you submit their questions and stuff, like, or submit anything you want afterwards. One of the big things is I said the life total was too low for starting, because like literally the game, you start like at 3 play points, I believe, and so it made the game so quick.
Oh.
So like literally, like Johnny, he was in our little cube of 4 players who played it, And at one point, he's like, "Gold ship reveal, do like 10 damage to everyone," and we're like, "Oh, okay, good game." Like that was quick, like that type of thing. But yeah, from the little I've played though, it's been fun, and it does feel like Bushiroad and side games are taking a risk trying this stuff out, which is
Oh,
cool. So
yeah, it's definitely cool, and I'm gonna be excited to try it.
yeah, absolutely.
Also, Spawn of the Abyss. That's gonna be hype.
All right, I guess this is the big, or I guess, do you want to, before we get into the tournament stuff, do you want to do everyone's favorite segment now, or do you want to?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to tell them about it, Kit? You want to tell them about what we're about to do?
All right, so we have this original 100%, never copied anyone before, guess that flavor text. But unfortunately, if you've noticed in the English cards, the flavor texts were not translated and put on the cards. So instead, we are using the digital text, flavor text on cards. Dean, in this case, will be giving me a quote from the card, and I will have to guess what card it is. We have 3 lifelines. One is what Booster said it's from, I believe, right? One is what
Yeah,
what if it's a follower or a spell, right? And the last
follower, spell, or amulet? Yeah.
or whatever. And then the last one is what craft it's from, I believe, right?
You are correct.
Yeah, and then every lifeline you use, you start with 4 points, and it goes down until you get to 1 left, and then either you get it or you don't. From there, Dean right now is crushing me on the points. I'm not even keeping track anymore because Dean is just destroying me at this point. What can I say? I'm just really bad. It didn't help that I played the digital game in Japanese voices only, and we're doing English lines. So, but yeah.
Well, English flavor text. If you know what they say in Japanese, I know you're somewhat fluent in Japanese. You should help a little bit. Should help a little bit. But I have faith in you, Kit. I have faith in you today to take this one down.
All
Now,
right.
the only thing I'm struggling with is I need to figure out how to say this word. Okay. So, Kit, are you ready?
I guess so. I'm ready to lose. Let's see.
Okay. Such vociferous jaws and grasping claws, thy brillig name upon the lips lingereth, and never shall it vade. Poems of Unbeing.
I what the hell?
Yeah, I had to
say it one more time.
You want me to say this word again that I can't say? Yeah, such vociferous jaws and grasping claws, thy brillig name upon the lips lingereth, and never shall it vade. From the Poems of Unbeing.
Okay. What craft is this from?
Dragon.
Dragon? Okay. I hate you. Oh my god, dragon.
If you need help, brillig is means 4:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, thank you. Very, very helpful there. In dragon? What the hell? All right, is this a follower, spell, or amulet?
It is a follower.
Of course it's a follower. It's dragon. Oh my god, what? I'm just so confused. Okay. What set is it from? We're doing the physical set, right?
That name? Yeah. What's set 3 called?
Oh, Flame of Leviathan.
Yeah. It's Flame of Leviathan. Yeah.
Leviathan. There we go. Holy crap, dude! I didn't play enough dragon in that set to know for sure.
Oh my god, dude! It's topping every regional.
True, except this card is probably not in that deck.
We don't know that. We don't know.
Oh my god!
Actually, you're right. They don't play a single new card. Actually, you're right.
Oh my god.
Kid is
I'm just
breaking
I
down.
am breaking down. I don't
I'm
know if
sad we don't have
this.
face cams this time.
I know. Next week we should have face cams, or in the next episode that is. Okay, I'm just shooting this in the dark. I probably is wrong, but I'm gonna just lock in Jabberwock because it's the only card I could think of. But it's probably wrong.
Congratulations, Kit. You got it right. You got a point.
Let's go. I can't. Why is that the flavor text? What the heck?
Well, okay. Looking up this Brillig thing, it is it literally links to the Wikipedia article for Jabberwocky. It is like only used in the poem.
All right.
So yeah, this is
This was painful. I hate this game.
and this other word, I've never seen this word before. I've never seen vociferous.
Like
So
when you said jaws and like claws, I was like, okay, this could be a dragon card, but I was like, but what if this is Beauty and the Beast? Because it's all like poemy and flowy. I was like, if it's B&B, I could see it maybe. That's why I was like, what craft is this from? And when you said dragon, I was like, okay, thank God I don't have to even think about forest at all.
Fun little thing for you, Kit. All of the cards that have fable on them are from like folklore and poems.
Dude, what you just said to me was like a fucking poem, man. I was like,
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad I got a point on the board. We did it somehow.
He did it. You used more lifelines than I thought you would.
Dude. I was just like, what the hell? Dude, okay, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to what really matters here and the new Showdown series. Do you want to talk about this, Dean? I'm bringing this up on screen here.
Oh. This is... Man, I don't want to be... This is both the greatest and potentially like most horrifying announcement. So we finally have something that distinguishes us from other Bushiroad games. No longer are we shackled to, oh no, the Bushiroad Spring Fest only gets a promo for first, right? We have our own little thing. We got the Showdown series into the Grand Showdown. Showdown series sounds pretty sick. I'm actually a big fan of that one. Now the Grand Showdown, I'm hopeful for next year. Okay. I'm very So the first thing is we got the Showdown challenges. It's like basically it's like the locals thing, right? From my understanding, much like we used to have like the monthlies, right? This time it's the same thing, but if you win it, you get a buy, right? Is that how that works?
From my understanding here is
it was like the shop qualifier. It was the exact same thing that the shop qualifier did. Where we got the snipes. But this time we get this alt art Dark Alice. Beautiful card.
Dark Alice alt art is very good. I'm going to be fighting for that for sure.
King Elephant to top 8. Oh, that's pretty hype. King Elephant, he's got that Chad energy. And then the Draconeer to everyone who shows up. Sick dragon card. Hopefully finds its way in list over time. Big fan of that. I do like that. And I like the fact that that's like something that everyone can compete in, right? Because it's going to be at every shop.
Yeah.
As long as you're a Bushiroad shop. And then you get a buy if you win. So it's like, before it was like you got an invite, but now you get a buy card that if you show up to the Grand Showdown. Now here's the question.
What's the question? Yeah.
the Grand Showdown,
mm-hmm.
The thing that I think is a little, the only thing that I don't like about it is they said one per major continent. So it's like there's one in Europe, one in North America, and one in Australia. With that in mind, and the fact that you get a buy if you win, the question is, what happens when everyone uses a buy card in round 1?
There is no round 1. Good luck.
Yeah, like because that's what I'm wondering because basically what happens is at the end of these shop challenges, you have the Grand Showdown, which has fantastic pricing. Like this is the kind of pricing that I want to see. Where you show up, you get the promo, nice. Then we get top 32. Get this Blazing Breath, this alt art Blazing Breath. It looks beautiful. And then top 16, you get the playmat with Gilnelise on it. Oh my god, top 16. That's something. That's something. If you're a good player, it's you go in expecting that, right? Like that's not even like
Absolutely,
top
yeah.
8. So yeah, and then top 8, you'll get the Gilnelise card. So that's like a really nice thing that you can strive for. And then if you get first, I think you get like 3 of them. So that's
Yeah, you get
kind of insane.
I think it's first place gets a 3, top 4 gets 2, and a top 8 gets 1. I am one. If you look in the Shadowverse Evolved Discord, the community Discord, I posted in there a long time ago that when this card comes out in English with this alt art and stuff, I will be fighting tooth and nail to get it, right? Because I love this art on this card. So I will be going to this for sure, and I'm sure other super hyper competitive people will be showing up and going for this.
I'll be showing up too, but
yeah, like Dean said, the price structure on this too is amazing. Also, I think you didn't say, but the top 3 players of the Grand Showdown will get unsponsored invites to the World Championship, which I think kind of sucks. That it's unsponsored. I feel like maybe first place they could shell out the extra like $500 to fly that person out, because if you think about this of how they have it structured is that this is basically everyone's national tournament, which means if you win the Grand Showdown for that year, or I don't know how often this is going to be coming up, right? I don't know if there's going to be like 2 a year or 3, but at least in this case, if you win your Grand Showdown, like for example for North America, you're basically the national championship of North America, or national champion of North America, right? And as the champion of North America, or the champion of Asia, C, or whatever, and Europe, like it kind of does suck that you don't get, even though you get an invite to Worlds, which is great, which is what I hope to get. It sucks that like first place doesn't get a sponsored invite when you're like quote unquote the champion of your nation, basically, or of that region. But beggars can't always be choosers here. I'm very happy we're getting a real prize structure for what I consider like the premium tournament you should be competing in if you enjoy this game a lot and want to be like a hyper competitive player here.
Oh yeah, this is a step in the right direction. I guess when you frame it as nationals, it's like I guess the 1 makes sense, like right, like Pokemon, you get the 1 intercontinental.
Yeah.
It's just like, since this is the only like event that we're getting with like real, like if this is the event so far that we've seen with the most real prize support, I guess it's just like hearing 1, and because US is so big, the US is Cali is so far away
Yeah.
for so many people. So
it hasn't been confirmed in California. The only reason I would say this event is going to take place in California for North America is because that's where Bushiroad's main office is for North America. And so my assumption is they're not going to spend more money to put it like in Chicago or Texas or something like that. But who knows? There could be a chance they just like centralize it and put it in Chicago or Texas is where I would assume if they were going to move it outside of California, where the Grand Showdown will end up being. But yeah, I feel like this first year is probably their test run, because we have top 32 prizing, and that's assuming we're going to get over 32 players at these things, which I hope we do. There's no way we don't.
Okay, okay, I'm
go ahead.
Yeah, as somebody who's sometimes like, oh, I want to see better numbers, I would be astonished if we didn't have at least like 150 to 200 players at this.
I think so too. I hard agree, especially depending on where it ends up being located at. I think if it's located in California, we're for sure going to hit over 100 easy, because there is a decent, even though I know for teams it wasn't like the best showing, there is a huge player base in California in general. And when it's like a game, when this tournament is on its own and not like attached to anything else, that means more players will be able to like actually sign up for it and play into it, right? As long as there's nothing else crazy happening the same weekend this happens. So
yeah, and then the top 16 mats. I mean, like as a player, even that Blazing Breath, that's pretty achievable.
Yeah, the Blazing Breath art too is insane. I love it. I need to get multiple copies somehow, but yeah. I'm very excited for this. I think like all of this here is in the right direction. Anyone that has been complaining about the tournament structure, I think this should satisfy them for now, right? Of course, we'd like to see this evolve into more, but you know, this is
Oh
what we
yeah,
can
no,
get right now.
but this one's pretty good. This one is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm
This
very
is
excited. Go ahead.
this is one that like the more times I look at it, the better it gets. Like when I think about like what like the other games get from Bushi Road, I look at this and I go, yeah, this one is pretty sick. This one is pretty sick.
Yeah, I think this tournament structure and the pricing is more in line with like other major card games right now. And I do believe that other card games, like there were players who play other card games just because of the pricing support, not necessarily because they love the game necessarily. I'm sure there's other players who are like very like top Magic players or top Yu-Gi-Oh players come over to One Piece or something like that because not only maybe they do like the IP and the game's like all right, but the price support for the game is very very good. Like
One Piece is like a little different from my understanding. I'm speaking from like, not experience, but from my understanding with One Piece, the only difference between their price support and the price support I'm looking at right now is that Blazing Breath is like $10,000. That's the only difference. So it's like they'll give you the like exact same prizes, but the difference is the Blazing Breath is for some reason some obscene amount. Well, this Blazing Breath, what do you think? There's 96 of them in the world. What do you think it's worth?
wait, do you think there's only going to be 96 of Blazing Breasts in the world?
Top
Oh,
32?
yeah, one of each. Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure. I'm sure this card is probably going to be worth at least $100, right? There's no way it's anything less than that. Like maybe on the first weekend it's out, maybe you
That's
can
the best
snap.
card. That is the best card in the game, by the way.
Yeah. It's like a dragon card too that gets played for like ever because it's just that good. So it's like probably the first week it'll be like $100-ish, like if you want to pick it up day of kind of thing, maybe less if you're lucky. But I feel like as time goes on, if my assumption here is they won't reprint this card, it should go up in value.
Yeah,
All right.
these are pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this entire thing, and I'm excited for the future of the game. But I think with that being said, is there anything else we need to squeeze in here before we say our goodbyes, Dean?
Not look forward to our tournament report next time. I will either be a fool or a hero or legend.
Well, I hope you come back as the legend, Dean, because that's what I'm looking
feeling
forward toward. I think what you said, you probably have a deck profile for the deck you're running in Toronto coming out this weekend, possibly on Sunday. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what my goal is, to have that uploaded by Sunday. So
yeah, I'm trying to get together with my two teammates from California and Texas. We're going to do a little like round table where we're going to talk about, first of all, our experience in the tournament, as well as our thoughts on the current meta for set 3 before we get into set 4, because none of us are really going to be participating in any set 3 formats anymore other than Dean right now, unless I get lucky and get some extra time off somewhere. Otherwise, my next major tournament will be in set 4, so we figured we'd do a little round table, talk about our thoughts of, topping in both regionals and like what we thought about the meta, and maybe give some extra knowledge out there for people who are preparing for their tournaments. So you could expect those videos coming out. And yeah, also thanks to everyone who watched my little discussion video about the meta and all that stuff. It did better than I expected it to do. The one where I talked about Japan meta versus English meta and so forth. So I'm very happy that it got a lot of people talking, which is cool. And I hope I can do more videos like that soon. What's up?
Something I can't believe we almost forgot to mention is thank you everyone who actually hit that like button, because we finally hit 1,000 subs.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh shit, yeah. Thank you everyone who's I forgot about that already because I was so hyped the day it happened, and then I just forgot. Thank you everyone that has followed our content since the beginning. We absolutely appreciate you. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun journey this far. We hit 1K subscribers, which is great. Hopefully we can double that before the end of the year, though we'll see how that goes. But it seems like the community is growing overall. I feel like we're picking up a lot more people, a lot quicker, things like that. So
yeah, I was pretty excited. We were sitting there in that like 980 range for a while. I was like,
yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh, we're so close but yet so far. And then was it? Shout out to Ryan. I was like, oh yeah, Ryan, we're like 2 subscribers away, and he's like, are you sure? Go back and check, and he unsubscribed our channel. Oh man, I was like, you jerk. But yeah, thanks everyone. Really appreciate it. It's really cool when people even like. I'm sure this happens, Dean, occasionally now too when we go to the regionals and stuff. Like people are like, "Oh, I love your content" or whatever, and you just watch it or whatever. Like, honestly, thank you. At the end of the day, I think our content is garbage, but but you know, people like it, so I will continue to keep producing it until you know either some super huge bigwig shows up and takes over the community with their stuff. But you know, Dean and I will still be back here making our garbage content that we love to talk about. Just because we love the game and we love the community. I've like every person I've met in the community so far has been amazing. You know, the game has been great. I've had no gripes at all other than the first tournament format. But yeah, I guess with that being said, unless you have anything else to add, Dean, anything?
No, you know,
Yeah, I
that
guess.
was it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to shout that out.
I guess with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Help us get to the 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That'd be really hype. Other than that, thank you so much for making it this far. We hope to see you guys in our other videos later, everyone.